anybody else just have a really big appetite? And this has been lifelong for me. And it's actually my whole family. My maiden name is Ebersol, and we joke that you have the Ebersol appetite because all of us have just a really big appetite. And I can remember even at a very young age, like my friends eating, I don't know, half of a sandwich, and I would eat a whole sandwich. And I wasn't too full. It's not like I was stuffing myself or eating mindlessly or eating past fullness or anything like that. I would eat until I was pleasantly full, and it was always more food than everybody else. And I was never overweight, right? Like, this is me as a teenager. In the blue, obviously, is me in college. And throughout all of that, I've always eaten more than the people around me. And again, I'm not eating past fullness. I never really have. I always stop when I'm full. And yes, that's even if there's food left on my plate, that doesn't bother me, but it's still more than the people around me until I actually feel satiated. Now, I'm not currently trying to lose weight, but in the past, I have messed around with my food just to be like, I wonder if I did only eat half of this sandwich, how I would feel, right? And it's ravenous. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, but it's normal to feel a little bit of hunger when you're losing weight. It's not a little bit of hunger. It's ravenous to the point of like nausea and headaches. And it doesn't matter how much protein I have or how much fiber. I can have the biggest chicken breast ever and a huge plate of broccoli, and I'm like, all right, what's next? Now, why am I saying all of this? Because not just from my personal anecdote, but from lots of people that I've worked with, I think some people just have higher appetites,
or maybe we're just focusing on the wrong problem. Now, I've been saying this a very, very long time, that the reason why so many of you are struggling with your eating habits, you struggle to stick to a diet long term, it's because the information that you've been given, guys, is wrong. Okay, it's plain and simple. This is the reason why you guys can never get the results that you want, and then every fucking year you go back and you do the same thing. Because like I said, you're focusing on the wrong problem. You guys are just focusing on calories. We've been brainwashed by these experts that we can eat whatever we want and we can still lose weight. Of course we can. I've never once denied this. But the problem is very, very simple, guys. It's not going to be sustainable long term. Okay? And the reason why it's not going to be sustainable long term is because the diet that you're on is not realistic. Okay? Because it contains way too much fucking sugar. You guys are eating processed shit in moderation. There's seed oil in your food. Okay? And this is going to have an impact on your hunger. When you eat these foods, guys, your hunger hormone is never going to be switched off. And this is what we need to be focused on. We should not be looking at food as entertainment anymore and just look at food as fuel. It's not about the calories. What runs the body is not calories. You should be focusing on your hormones. Hormones run the body, guys. This used to be me. There was a stage in my life, guys, when I was eating up to 9 times a day. I was eating pretty much every 2 hours, and I couldn't understand why I needed to eat. And I needed to eat on a regular basis until I realised very fucking quickly that it had nothing to do with calories. Because I've been there. I've done all this. I've counted calories. But as I said, I struggled until I realised that, you know what, okay, hang on a second, maybe I'm being lied to here. Maybe that's not about calories. Maybe I need to start focusing on other things. Maybe I need to start focusing on my hormones, understanding insulin, understanding leptin. And when I understood this, this is when my appetite got under control. This is when I didn't have these regular cravings anymore. This is when my hunger was under complete control, because I was eating the food that matters, guys. And this is what we're not been told. We just see food as calories. We're told that as long as you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. Guys, this is not what we should be focusing on. You guys should be focusing on your health. We need to understand very, very quickly that hunger is controlled by your hormones. I don't give a shit what these people tell you differently. If your hormones are out of whack, it's only a matter of time before you guys are going to struggle. This is when you're going to get these regular spikes and crashes throughout the day, and you guys are not going to understand why you have to eat every couple of hours. And these people are not going to explain why this is happening, because they haven't got a fucking clue. They haven't got a clue, guys, about food addiction or sugar addiction, and this is why we're all struggling. You guys are doing these diets, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right, but you know fully well it's not going to be sustainable in the long run. You guys know fully well that you're following these diet programs, but you're having these regular hunger issues. And then when you go back and see these people and you say, listen, I'm losing the weight, but I'm really, really struggling. I'm not going to be able to maintain this long term. So what do we do? How do we fix the problem? control our hunger without going to see the fucking doctor, because you guys are going to go to see the doctor when you guys are struggling with this issue, these regular food noise issues, and I can promise you this right now, he's not going to have a clue, not a clue, and he's going to put you guys on these fucking injections. Now this is what's going to happen when you guys go on these injections. These injections are going to be able to shut off your hunger, but guys, we can do this through food alone. We can do this through an animal-based diet. I don't know how many times I need to keep on saying this. If we eat the food that's going to control leptin and keep insulin down, then you guys are going to have no issues losing weight. It's going to be the easiest diet you will ever follow. So this is what you need to do. You need to go against the information that we've been told by all these experts on social media. These people will tell you that you can eat processed food in moderation, you can have your carbohydrates, you can eat your sugars. This is where we're all going wrong. When you guys are eating these foods, as I mentioned at the very beginning, you're going to run into problems because, like I said, your insulin is going to be too high. You're not allowing the hunger hormone to switch off, and this is why you guys have to eat every couple of hours. Whereas if we can combat this very easily, if we increase the food, that's going to, as I said, bring insulin down, keep our leptin levels high. This is going to be, you guys are going to be able to control your hunger, guys. This is not rocket science. Now, when you guys are able to control your hunger, guess what? Weight loss becomes a lot easier. Honestly, I could talk another hour on this, but I'm going to leave you guys with this final message. Just remember that if you guys are going through these issues at the moment and you can't understand why, just remember, it's not you. You guys are not broken. As I said, it's the information that you've been given. You guys need to go out and do more research. You need to look on the fucking internet and look up people that actually know what they're talking about. Because I can tell you right now, this is never going to be a calorie issue, ever. You guys have to focus on what's important, and that's your hormones. And when you guys put these in place, you will never have to worry about your weight or your health ever again. Write that down.